So today we're gonna have Faraz and Amit for our postcard chapter 2 of Future and Obstacles. So I introduce myself as V, the Vice President of VSA, and today we're gonna have both of them speaking with us. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Faraz. I'm the current loser president. I came to Lakehead. I did my master's in civil engineering last year, and I graduated in December. And I'm just in school for the student union.
I'm Amit. I'm in my third year of computer science. This is my last semester. I'm from India. I'm a student assistant in the international office. It's been an amazing experience there, and yeah, looking forward to the podcast.
Yes. So us we are both foreign students, right?
Yeah.
So whenever we come to an entire new environment, we often meet some obstacle and then have life coming up. So what was your initial expectation and how it different from your reality?
I'll ask you to start first.
So for me, I feel like, we're coming out of high school. You're almost pampered every time by your parents, giving food, and like everything's already set. You only have to do the bare minimum, like maybe study or like go and have fun with your friends and play games. But it's a very big transition from being a high school student to coming to university, and then especially to a new country, and cooking for yourself, working and studying and having time for yourself, time for your hobbies. So it takes a lot of energy for all of these things, and it's definitely a big transition. But I guess that's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I can completely understand where Amit is coming from, because you're like 19 coming to a different city, a completely different country. And even myself, I was 24 when I came here, 25. And well, I had my own house back home. I lived on my own. But then, the difference that we have over here, the culture, the whole atmosphere, the weather even, that was a big change. And for me, the first thing that was a big challenge and obstacle was finding housing. That it took me 2-3 weeks, and it was really tough and expensive in the beginning.
Yeah, I know. I often admit that. I have spent almost 1 year for finding a new house for me that's suitable for me. Yeah.
Exactly. And then we had to, because we didn't have any place to stay at, we had to go to Airbnb, or I didn't go to a hotel, but a lot of my peer students, friends went to hotel, so it was really expensive in the beginning. But then we kind of got the house, and we settled down, and then we were all over with the obstacles.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Seems like finding housing is the most obstacle for us.
That's so true. Even for me, it was 3 days before I came to Canada that I was able to find a house. If not, I didn't even know where I would go to, and housing is definitely, that was 2 years ago. Right now, it's even more difficult for students to find housing. So I guess that's one of the bigger issues that students face the moment they come to Canada, right?
Yes.
So,
yeah, and beyond finding a housing, were there any language barrier for you guys when come to Canada?
Well, when I came here, not personally for myself, because back home I used to teach English. I used to teach English for 10 years in Iran, and I used to live in India for 6 years, so I had that exposure to different languages, especially English. But then I could see the friends that I had, some of them Persians and some other Indians, they had issues with their languages, and coming to a new country, studying everything in English was really hard for them. Yeah.
How about you?
for me personally, I've been studying English since I was in kindergarten, so I honestly thought I wouldn't have any obstacles at all. But in terms of studies and all of that, maybe not that much. I feel like there are so many other students who have so much more trouble with English, because they're in their home countries, they learn everything in their own mother tongue, let's say Spanish or Arabic, and once they transition, it's totally in English. So I didn't have that problem, but I still do face a little bit challenges, because I feel like I have an accent, of course. From because I'm from India, I have a different way of speaking English. So it is when I'm communicating with someone who's a Canadian, sometimes they don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. And I also feel like sometimes I'm searching for words. Like I know what I want to say to them, but then like I'm always searching for words because I don't know which word will fit properly for that instance. So sometimes maybe I do feel that barrier, but I guess gradually I've been doing well, doing better.
Yeah, I think that's also happened to me. Like one time I doing my midterm, I have like filling in the graphs.
Yeah.
I just know what it means in Vietnamese, but it was like, what is it in English? Like I was thinking for like 30 minutes and I just omit that sentence and I lost credit for that sentence. I was like, no, no more.
No,
Yeah.
I completely understand because it's the same thing that happened to me again when I was doing my master's, and we had like different terminology in civil engineering for like buildings for like different parts, and then I knew all of them in Farsi, like my language, but then when I wanted to write it down, I wouldn't understand it. It was all English, right? All the terminology, the questions and everything, and then kind of converting that to Farsi and trying to understand was a big thing in the beginning. But then I think like through time and like trying to go over it again and again and practicing, it helped. You learn, and the thing is like, but it all depends. It doesn't depend actually on your age. That is what I researched it about. That if some people think that we're 35, 40 years old, we cannot learn another language. That is not true. The thing is that when you grow older, it's harder for you to make mistakes because you have that pride. You don't want to make mistakes, and then you don't refrain yourself from talking English. And you don't practice, but like for me or for Amit, we are younger, so it doesn't matter for us that much to make mistakes. So we practice it and then we learn through that mistakes. But that's the thing that I want to point out.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
He did a lot of research on this. Why is he not able to understand?
No, because when I was teaching, I had like different group ages of students, like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, even 40-year-olds who were like learning English, and they're always telling me that, you know what, like we try, but like the 20-year-old learns way easier than us. We don't learn. I'm like, no, this is a myth actually. It's not that you cannot learn, but that you're afraid of making mistakes and afraid of trying. That's why you don't get enough practice as a 20-year-old as much as a 20-year-old, and the reason behind it.
And also I feel like because learning a new language it's going to be a little difficult in later stages like of life, because I feel like, let's say if someone was 30, they've been speaking the same language for 30 years, right? So, and you start thinking in that language, and so then you start trying to convert from, you hear it, and then you convert it to your, like the language you'll understand, and then you try to think in terms of your own language, instead of, think of, let's say, just thinking in English, right? So I guess that also plays a role. And also, like when you mentioned about the fill in the blanks, like I had a similar experience where I wrote a paragraph explaining to the prof saying that I know the word, I just don't know how to say it. I'm trying to find the correct word, and then later when I was about to give in the paper, I remember the name, the word for that. I put in that, and I'm like, I scratched all of that paragraph that I wrote. And so when he gave us the paper back, he put a smiley over there, and he's like,
I got you.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Next time we're supposed to write in our own language, and then can use like Google Translate to use it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's gonna be helpful. Google Translate is definitely something I should have tried.
Yeah.
And then how you can like come over some obstacle that you just listed before that?
I feel like you have to always try to find solutions, and it's always a gradual process of getting over an obstacle. And I feel like let's say if it's something related to academics, then I probably get tutoring or something like that. If it's something related to some personal life, I would probably tell it to my friends, ask their opinions. It's always a process of like overcoming your obstacles. I feel like that, and you should try to like get help from wherever you can, because obviously we are not expert in everything. So it's always better to get help from everywhere, so that you know what is the best way to overcome that particular obstacle.
Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree with what Amit said. There is definitely support in every area here, especially in Lakehead, in Nusu, the thing is like most internationals might not know that there are things. So maybe going out and asking, being vocal would help a lot. But then on my side of the story, I'm an extrovert person. So for me, getting over the obstacles was always having good people and encouraging people around me. Like Amit, like Javan, Akash, like those are my good friends. Ali, my roommate, a lot of people that are all around me, and they encourage me to and they help me out whenever I had issues. And I think it goes again with like other personalities as well. Like if you're introvert, if you're different personality types, so having a good community around you, even if it's a small one, is always a good way to like encourage you and help you through all the obstacles.
Yeah, that's definitely right. In my first year, I mean, I was so introvert to talk to other people. So I just living in basement, which is myself, and I do everything by my own. It was a little bit sad, and I cannot do anything well. It's just like living on my own, but it was a little bit hard to share my emotion or my thinking with my friends because they are in my country. They're not going to abroad with me. So I just like, that's so hard. Yeah, that was so hard. That's the hardest time I haven't been in like Canada.
Yeah.
Exactly. And another thing about Canada is like, especially like Thunder Bay, you get a really large period of snow and winter and cold weather. And you get, well, in thank God in Thunder Bay we get good sunlight, so our vitamin D is always high, and I always take supplements, but like you get like how everything is a little bit gloomy and everyone is in their house, nothing to do outside, whereas like if it's a good weather you can go outside, and walk and stuff. So having that family or second family around you to get you through the hard times and through the winter time.
I actually completely agree with that. Like recently I got injured, and I mean, if it wasn't for my friends, I would rather call them my family, because you're like, Canada is now your home away from home, right? So that means that you need to have a family away from family. And I feel like my friends like Javan and Akash and Faraz and Faraz, and so when I got injured, like I had to be hospitalized for a few days, and if it weren't for them and like whom I consider my family now, I don't know, it would have been really hard for me if I had to like overcome that obstacle by myself, rather than having like people, trying to support me, trying to like, take care. So I think it's always nice to have, your people, like people you consider, people you trust, like your family. So I think it's always one of the biggest ways to overcome any obstacle, is to find your people, find your community. And
that's true.
You guys navigate the academic challenges when coming to a new educational system and environment?
So for me, being a civil engineer and doing my undergrad in civil engineering, we like engineers, I think, tend to do their homeworks and assignments and studying all group work, because it's tough, and when you're doing it group work, it's way easier because it's basically problem solving, I would say. When you have other people around you and you have different aspects and you can easily solve them. So other than the language barrier, that was tough, and it took time to kind of get up to speed. The rest was done by group work, and some people got help from people back in Iran, like because they had contacts then, and we had like people who actually taught those lessons. So we always asked people back in Iran, but the rest was all through group work, I would say.
for me, I mean, I feel like one of the biggest challenge of being able to do well in academics is being able to give time to academics. Like, because you're working, you're cooking for yourself, and you're staying by yourself. There's so little time left for your the things that you want to do, and like for academics, that it almost slips your mind that academics is probably one of the most important things why you came to Canada. It's international study, but like you came abroad to study, but then like
I know
you
stuff.
often forget that.
Yeah.
And just ask me.
Yeah, but like what happened to me in the undergrad course was I had some friends who were who were like partners, like boyfriend, girlfriend, and they would study together.
Yeah.
I was always envy them. And then I came here. My girlfriend was not engineering, so I was always envy them. But she helped me a lot through like the whole stress, because I get a little bit stressed when it comes to exams,
Yeah.
and like I cannot sleep and stuff. But then she being there and talking to me and being by my side, it makes a difference. It does make a difference. Having a partner, being in a relationship, and having that emotional side of the whole process taken care of is really important.
I mean, for me, like in India, like we were given, let's say, for each subject, the professor used to give us the notes like question and answer. So we kind of knew like what is going to be asked and what's coming. But over here, it's completely different. Like you have the PowerPoint presentations from which the professors teach, and then you have to like listen. You have to make notes by yourself. You have to understand by yourself. Do your assignments, read textbook and all of that. But it's completely different in India, like where I mean, at least till grade 12, I would say that almost everything is spoon fed to you. So transitioning from that was definitely a challenge. But then after 2 years and after almost like 2.5 years, I feel like I've gotten used to this kind of teaching, and it actually, I feel like it's a better way of teaching, so that they're giving us the tools and they're giving us the ways of learning, and you have your own way of learning by yourself. So it's also going to like affect how you're going to be learning in the later stages of your life, right? Where no one is going to teach you everything, but you have to go and study by yourself, and you have to learn. And this is like a good transition, I'd say, for to understand like later on how you're going to navigate these issues. But I think
I completely agree with him on that as well. And I think another thing that really I think affects a lot of students is like some lecturers, they have really strong accents, and it's really hard to, like, in the first month, I remember I had 3 or 4 courses that the first month I would understand nothing. Nothing. So you're like coming to other people, please can you explain this? Like beggars, like please, and they're like, we didn't understand as well, like go on. So it kind of pushed us all to go and like study on our own. Like they would give us stuff, we would get like small bits of information from their words, and then we would do that, because I think if you're a student, you should learn not to be fed all the time. Just go and find the resources, everything yourself, and study, because that is how you get to the thing that you want, the core of the academics.
Not for me, but my program was in chemistry, so we often got like lab report. I definitely say, like, when I was in high school, I don't know what lab report is. When I come to university, I got my chemistry lab report, physics lab report. It was like, what was that? I didn't know that how to write it. I read the lab manual, say like it has some format, but it's just like some word, and it was like, no, hold on. I didn't know anything about this one. So I had to search a lot. But also in my high school, we don't got that much assignment. We just got most of them exam like 50 minutes or 45 and then 1 hour. But in here, we got assignment also and lab report, and then we also got exam.
Exactly, that is
I got overwhelmed with those deadlines. I was, no, that's too much. I feel like I have no break. But I don't know how to like arrange them in a suitable way to do it. So I really when I was in first year, I was like living on the edge of life. Whenever that life come, I was like, no, I'm tiring. I still remember, I didn't know that the math assignment is coming up. So I just like going around like in the university. So when I was in Canada, it was new. So I was like, want to explore new things. So I just keep playing. And my friend told me, have you did a math assignment? What is math assignment? Where's that?
Wait, what?
It was like, my website, I can do it.
Oh my god.
And then after that, after the first term, so I decided to change my life. I created a planner that can help me to keep track on the deadline. It could be better. That's a life saving for me.
Exactly. And I think the whole way to succeed when you're a student,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, is kind of creating that balance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if you have balance for everything, like if you do your sports, if you have your social life, and if you study all at the same time with a balance, then you'll succeed. It's not about always studying, because I see people are like always in the library and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? You'll burn yourself out if you go and study every day for 8 hours.
Yeah.
There are sometimes like, sometimes there are periods of exams and stuff, which makes sense. But if you're like that during the whole semester, you cannot go through. Like, at least I couldn't, because I had to do my sports. I had to get that, sweat out of me, just go around, not think about studies, do something fun, and enjoy time with friends. And for us internationals, we have to work as well sometimes.
Yeah.
So that also is hard. And then it's kind of the balancing of it that I think really decides if you're going to be successful and enjoy your time experience, or no, just stick to academics and then burn out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, obviously, like balancing is the most important thing. I still in my first year, I got my finals, so I gotta stay up late for that.
Yeah.
But it was so hard. I was like, no, I will pull overnight for this one. So I ordered a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I drink that cup of coffee just one time and then I go to bed because I was so lazy to continue to study. So I go sleeping. And I was like, what is this? What I'm trying to do? Like, I just trying to drink a coffee and then get to sleep.
Yeah, that never happens. Like, if you drink coffee, I stay awake for like 4 or 5 hours,
Yeah.
and then you have coffee and you went back to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Exactly.
drink it in one time to save the time. So I got easy with that. It's just like anxiety levels coming up. I was like, taking a break. And then when I opened my eyes, it was 30 minutes before the finals.
Yeah.
But it's reviewing,
What happened during undergrads, being an engineer student, was like we would when exams came,
Yeah.
we would study all night, every night, and it was so hard, tough time during exams. And it always was like, I hope someday I'm like not studying till 5 a.m. I'm sleeping early. I don't have stress and stuff. When I came to Canada, the culture was in a way that the lecturers wanted us to start doing assignments through the semester, and we had small quizzes and stuff. So I was kind of pushed into like doing it gradually, not just piling it up at the end of the semester, just not being into sleep and just study.
Yeah.
So I actually had 2-3 courses where everyone was at the night studying, and they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what, I've done my job, like I've done the assignments, I know how it goes. It's not gonna be hard in this. I know I've read it through the semester. So like come 11 p.m. I would just go to bed and sleep. And
I agree with you. Like, even for me, like, because we have weekly assignments, almost like every week we have one assignment that we have to give in. So, or it's either labs or assignments, but something related to the coursework, right? So I think that kind of pushes you to, study a little bit, at least during your semester, so that it doesn't pile up in the end and you're studying only in the end. But yeah, I think that's something that I appreciate about the Canadian, way of teaching, is that like they have assignments every week or like every 2 weeks, and that kind of pushes you. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, like staying up late for studying is so bad. After the finals, I got like 24 hours of sleeping. I didn't turn on my phone. I just keeping sleeping like that. And my friend texted me like, are you being kidnapped? Yes, she didn't stop it on like for 18 hours.
Oh, I know.
I just like, no, I just sleeping.
Oh no, I know it's
That
tough.
was so bad. Yeah.
No, that is good.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
I'm just getting the finals. Get 1 day for sleeping.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But when the difficulties just continuously appears, how you can like enhance your mood or motivation? Because I know that when just like some bad marks or bad side coming up, which is like getting some down mood or being stressed, how you can like enhance your mood by doing that?
For me personally, I feel like I have a lot of hobbies that I do. Like I kind of try to play the piano, or like I play sports, so I go and play basketball or like badminton or soccer. So sometimes I think like there's a saying, I think it's called healthy mind resides in a healthy body. So I feel like once, like if you're feeling stressed or anything, I always like try to do something that activates my body, like playing or just going to the gym or something like that, and that kind of rejuvenates your energy. And I think that's one way to deal with all these problems that you're facing.
Exactly, and I agree with them because, and I know it's scientifically proved that when you go and do sports and you're out in there and meeting people, that kind of gives you that endorphin rush and that helps with your mood, helps a lot with your mood. So I personally, what I do and trying to change my mood is just go swimming. I go swimming every other day during like hard times. And hitting the water, just swimming and having some friends just to talk to, and then the sauna after, it really helps with your mood, that's for sure. And another thing that I later on came to understand that really helped me was having like the community around me, the people around me, but like also the good and not a toxic, but a really healthy relationship.
Yeah,
Like someone you can actually count on, someone who can talk to. And I know family has their own place and good friends have their own place, but a really good relationship. So many other times, can help you with your mood swings, can help you a lot in terms when you have something on your mind and someone's there to listen to you.
Yeah.
So that is my go-to. Those two things are my go-to when I'm feeling a little bit down or run down.
Yeah, that's a good way to boost like emotions. Let's see. So after we got the winter term, we got like summer break, right?
Yeah.
But I still got stressed from the winter
Oh.
finals. So when I come back to my home country, just like last summer, I feel like I'm being stressed because I cannot study. Because in the summer break, we don't have no courses.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling stressed because I'm not studying.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I told my mom, and then my mom just took me a kickboxing courses. Yeah. I go to that for 2 months and I feel like I was refreshed by that. Yeah, I can express my emotion. Yeah.
By punching a bag.
Yeah.
No, that actually helps.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
doing
it does.
sport is really like help us to release our emotion. Yeah.
So I remember back home, I don't know if you have it in Thunder Bay or not, but back home we had these rooms that was called the angry rooms, if I want to be
Panic room?
Yeah, panic, called angry room. Like literally, the meaning was angry rooms. And then what you did, you went there and there were like old TV sets or like small bottles of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, anything like that. And you would just like shatter them, like throw them out, and it kind of drain you all that anger that you had, all that sadness that you had, and it was a fun activity to do. Like, I would see people just going really rough, like beating something with their bat. I'm like, oh god, yeah. Back then, like my sister, we would go there and she would be really rough. I'm like, god. So I live with this person, and every night I just lock my door before sleeping. I'm like, okay.
You just unlock a new characteristic.
Exactly. I'm like, god, is that you? Are you okay? Like, do you want any support? I'm here. I'm your brother. I'm gonna help you. Yeah, but it was fun. Yeah, those things are fun.
I feel like also like sometimes staying in Canada, far away from family and almost like friends whom you have stayed friends for like years. I feel like sometimes it's harder to go and tell them about what your emotions and what you're going through right now. So something that I have myself done is you have to try to acknowledge your emotions that you're going through, and like you have to see what is leading to those emotions, and try to see what you can change so that you kind of better yourself, and like how you can deal with those emotions. And I think that's by acknowledging it, you kind of dismiss whatever is happening, and you can see from a bigger picture and see where you can improve, right? So, and that's gonna definitely like make your everything better, like make your life better, because you're kind of seeing it from a third person's perspective, and you're understanding where you're going wrong, and you try to improve there, right? So I think that helps you a lot in making your mood a little bit better.
That's true. Like, but we learned, at least myself, working at the International Lounge, with Dr. Bui was the fact that mindfulness helps a lot. And for me, it's not always doing yoga or just sitting somewhere. Even like washing dishes or putting dishes away helps, or even making food, because I love food. When I make something like a food that is coming from my culture, like Persian food, and then sitting there like in a relaxed position and just eating the food, that helps a lot.
Yeah, good food having intense emotion.
I know.
Yeah, I know some. I don't know, but just like last year, also in my second year, but just like 2023, I got, I don't know what on that day what was I doing, but my mood was so bad. I just called home and I remember I have to cook. So I make something, but it was so good, and then I forgot I was bad. I forgot I was so sad, and then become happy again.
Exactly. Yeah.
We kind of don't understand like how food makes it better, but food changes your mood by so much. Like recently I didn't want to cook anything, but I was just feeling lazy for that day, and I ordered food, like Indian food. And the moment I started eating, I saw that I got so energized by just eating the food I love.
When you put the first bite, you're like,
let's go. Yeah, we got a new thing, let's go.
I know.
So much energy, and then food actually really helps. That's
exactly.
True.
Yeah.
But then you'll have to see the other side of it. Like if you eat a lot, then you'll have a 1 pack count. You're gonna be rocking at that, but.
Just about like balancing, having circle of friends, making home cooked food will enhance our mood. And then how did that like studying abroad impact your career goals for the future, and then your academic challenges?
So this is actually a good question, because so when I decided to come to Canada a few months before that, I was investigating, like, is Canada a good place to go? Should I actually do it? Should I go through with it? Should I come to emigrate to Canada and to study? And so I had this friend of mine, like my mom had this good friend and her previous best friend, who moved to Canada and immigrated to Canada for 34 years. And then she came to Iran for a visit, and I was investigating. So I was like, who better than herself, like to talk to and see what is happening in Canada. And her husband actually spoke to me, and he told me that, you know what, like, even if you want to come and study for 2 years, not immigrate, just do it, and you will see how everything changes. Your perspective changes, your personality changes, and everything in you changes, because you will be exposed to something new and so many different cultures, because it's diversity we have in Canada, so many different views and everything, and so many different ceremonies, all of that. I was like, I understand, but like, is it going to be that big of a change? I was always skeptical. On the other hand, I really wanted to come. I really wanted to have that experience. But then when I came, I made so many friends, like Indian friends, Asian friends, what have you, Canadian friends, so many friends from different cultures, and it helped me a lot. It changed my view so much. I cannot say how much, but it did. Try to experience what they're experiencing, the culture, and the diversity that we have. So I think for me personally, it changed me a lot. I think I'm a totally different person of what I was a year and a half ago, and I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. I'm really happy about it, because for me and from our cultures, they say when you go and travel a lot, it affects you and makes you more mature. And so I see that as kind of a traveling and living abroad and living with other people, and matures you up with the experiences that you go through.
That's so true, because like I recently visited India, and I went and met my friends, and one of the things that they were mentioning to me was that they see me like a totally different person. They're like,
who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're like, who are you?
Where's Amit?
Where's
What did you
Amit? Bring
do?
us down. Like, pass Amit back. They're like, we feel like he was telling me that I felt so much mature. Like, me personally, I feel like I haven't changed at all. But then once you go to your friends, I think they would see that, like they would see the change that you've had since living by yourself and in a totally new country. And so, and also like in terms of career, if I'm speaking, like one of the main reasons why I came to Canada was for the career opportunities that Canada was providing. I'm doing computer science, so I mean, Canada is definitely a hub for students in computer science, but after I came here, and I was starting to explore the possibilities. I started to understand how good India is in terms of computer science and all of that, and now it definitely gave me a totally new perspective that I didn't have when I was back in India. So and also like I thought doing a job like a 9 to 5 job would probably be what my goal would have been before I came to Canada. But after I came here and I talked to my friends and like I made good friends, one of mine, he also owns a business. He makes websites. So I started when I started talking to him more, and then I started learning about businesses and all of that. I started kind of shifting my mindset from a 9 to 5 job to this is actually a good opportunity, like doing a business and like having your own like you can control your own time slot and all of that. So it totally gave me a new perspective in terms of career opportunities, and it's not only about computer science, but there's so many things you can do with that program. So it definitely gives you a new perspective.
Yeah, like my mom, she used to study abroad in Australia, so she told me like when I was in high school, she told me like just try studying abroad at least one time. If you don't like it, you can come back and just live in Vietnam. I was like, let me try. Just try, but I don't choose Canada. I choose Canada because I don't choose Australia. I choose Canada because I think it will be a totally different environment. And it was really a life-changing game because when during my high school, I don't have to do anything like cooking, cleaning the house. My parents will do it. My parents will only like, you don't have to do it. You just need to study. I will do it. Just get your A score. It's like. But when it comes to Canada, I don't have my parents, right? So I have to do everything on my own. So that like develop my skills to like interact with other people, or like cleaning the house, cooking. It also impact my career as well. In many terms.
I agree, and what I see it as is so a lot of my friends would ask me and say, isn't it hard, like you have to wash your own clothes? Isn't it hard, like you have to cook, study, work all at the same time doing that and this? And I'm like, yeah, but then that is what shapes you, right? The hardship that you go through and the maturity that you get from it is what shapes you and what makes you better. Like a diamond has to go through a lot of pressure to become the diamond, right? It's not a diamond at the beginning. So I understand, and then the thing is that I think again is scientifically proven is that you need to have a certain amount of trauma to be ambitious and to get to places and to be successful. So if your life is traumaless, just going around doing your thing, coming back, and there's no hardship, you're not gonna be successful. And if you're on the other hand having a lot of trauma, that's gonna be really hard, and you're gonna be successful. So it's how you get that trauma, how you manage it, and how you go through it that will help you be successful, ambitious, and become a good personality. And
I want you to talk to my friends first. Ask your friends to tell my friends. Because my friends, like you mentioned that your friends are always telling you how are you managing all of that. My friends don't give they don't care about all of that. They're like, why haven't you been calling us? Like, why haven't you been calling? And like, why haven't you called me? I mean, it's been 1 month since I've talked to you. I'm like, I don't have time for myself. So I try to like so I every weekend I'm like, okay, this weekend I'm gonna call this friend, and once I call them, it at least takes me 2 hours or 3 hours on the phone call because there's so much to catch up. But then every time and every weekend I try to give the call to one friend, and then by the time I'm calling the next time, they're like, it's been so long since I've talked to you, what are you doing? And I mean, you're enjoying your life, I see you on Instagram. I'm like, okay, Instagram life is different. The real one is way different. So many things that we have to go through, and I have to try to explain it to them. But I understand that they want to talk to me, and it's nice that they're actually like putting in the effort, and like they're getting pissed that I'm not talking to them, but there is only little that I can do, right? So I mean, I try to give them time, but
and I completely relate because I see our personalities the same. Like you're outgoing extrovert and stuff, and me as well as Amit, we have so many friends back home, and yeah, kind of if you want to be in touch with them and connect with them all the time, like the way you used to, it's not possible because you don't even get time when you come here and you're studying and you're working and you're doing all of that chores yourself to even have a time to like just relax and watch a episode of anime or something like that. And then people are asking you, whereas like when you were back home, like my mom would do all the house chores. Like she would cook and she would do this, and I didn't need to study because I was just working. And I was working, and then like 5 hours a day, and then the rest I was not busy, so I would attend my friends and help them and what have you. But then coming to Canada, it's like there's so much to do, and you're ambitious. I'm not saying that it's always hard. Like you're ambitious to get to places, and you're working hard for yourself. So some people back home may feel left out, which is understanding. But then so much you can do. So
I also got my close friend. We have played with each other for like 7 years. During our secondary school, we got something about like studying abroad. So. But not too clearly. So during high school, it's become clearly with my models. So I told her like, let's study abroad together at one country. But now I'm in Canada and she's Australia.
That's not possible.
You guys probably didn't decide which country.
One country.
Study abroad.
One country, but not which country.
1 month after is like, oh, our visas are here. Where are you going? Canada. Oh, where are you going? Australia.
I forgot to decide which country.
Because she thought that I will continue with Australia as my mom do. So she chose Australia, I chose Canada, and when we got the profile back, it was like and then we got like pretty different in time clock. So like when I was going to school, she going to sleep. And when she was going to school, I was going to sleep. But we still like trying to separate like one call, like normally like 2-3 times a day. Not 2 or 3 times a week.
That's a dream.
But we got like one time it lasts for 12 hours.
Oh my god.
She watching me sleeping. I'm watching her sleeping. But that was so fun.
Exactly. And the seasons as well, like in Australia, then it's like everyone's with shorts and t-shirts. You're wearing like big jackets over here because it's winter, and over there it's summer. So even the seasons.
When I was wearing the summer, when it was not. We are having winter, right? It was minus 40 degrees last year. I told my friend, and she was wearing the t-shirt because it was 40 degrees in Australia.
Oh my god.
Which was like minus 40 and 40.
Exactly.
No, that's great.
I'm from a tropical region of India, right? So over there, it's like 20 degrees, 30 maybe 20 is like a very low number. Like if it hits 20, we're like it's so cold.
It's winter.
It's winter for 20 degrees. That's a positive 20. And then like because I started my course over here in Lakehead in winter, my first experience of Canada was negative 20 degrees.
Wow.
And when I got out of the airplane, I was like trying to blow air into and then I was seeing fog, and then the air hostess was looking at me and she was smiling, like seeing that I'm trying to do something that's so I felt like a kid when I was doing that. And then I'm calling my parents, I'm showing them snow in my hand. It's so new to me, and but it is definitely a very big shift, and it's a nice experience for sure. Getting used to a new environment as well. So.
And again, on that, like it's amazing how our body gets adapted to the environment. Like I remember when I came in first, and it was really tough for me. Even if it was 10 degrees, 5 degrees, I was like feeling cold or shivering sometimes. But now, like this summer, like last summer, when it was like 15 degrees, 20 degrees, I would start sweating. It was hot for me. Even though like our weather back home is 35 degrees, 40 degrees. And so my body is getting kind of used to it. Now it's like minus 10 degrees and I can go out with shorts. I don't have issues. And
you
get really comfortable, with the weather, you get adopted. And sometimes I get a little bit, frosty, but then, if I get like I don't have a jacket like those feather jackets that I never wear because it's so I'm so adopted. But this winter was not that cold as well, I would say.
That is so true. Because like I was when I'm talking to my friends or like my family, and then they're like, "Oh, how's the temperature?" I'm like, "Is it cold?" I'm like, "No, it feels okay." I'm like not wearing a jacket, and I tell them, "No, it's pretty warm today." And then they're like, "Okay, tell us the temperature." And when I tell them it's just -1, they're like, "It's not just -1. It is -1." Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, where's your jacket? Where's your mask or like your hat?
Yeah.
I'm like, trust me, it's not cold. It's not cold.
Exactly.
I don't know how to explain it to you. It's not
Yeah,
cold.
but it's not cold. 1-6 is good.
Exactly. Yeah, no.
But it's hard to explain it to them that it's not cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you video call your mom, especially I always when I wash my hair, I don't blow dry it, and it's wet. So when I'm out and when I call my mom, it's like how cold is it? I'm like -5, -1. It's like, how is your head so wet? It's like what are you doing? Like go on. No, it's all good. Like I'm used to it. It's no, you'll get sick. You get a cold. You catch a cold. I'm like, no, mom, don't worry about it. I'm used to
That's
it.
happened to me when I come back to Vietnam in the summer. So at the time, it's just about like the beginning of May. So it's still like 40 degrees last year. I wear a small puffer. It's just like a puffer, but when I come back to Vietnam, it was summer.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was 30 degrees in the city that I.
And you're wearing a puffer jacket.
Yeah, and I'm the only person who have been at the airport wearing a puffer. My mom looks at me like, are you crazy? Are you 30 degrees and you're wearing a puffer?
Oh my God.
No, mom, it's 40 degrees. Just yesterday. Yeah.
It's a fashion choice. 30 degrees in a puffer, for sure.
Let's go.
Just sweating inside.
There you go.
Yeah, I spent like almost 1 week to get related to the temperature bike. Yeah.
Yeah, no stuff. Totally.
But like after it impact how you prioritize your physical and mental health while studying and having friends, social life and working. Yeah.
So as Amit says, and I really agree with that, is that it's really important to acknowledge it. Like sometimes you go through a lot of tough, times, and you go through mental health issues and everything, and you kind of don't acknowledge it. You say, okay, no, it'll be fine. Like I'll be fine. Like I'm feeling a little down today, but I'll be fine. I'll go through it. The fact that you acknowledge it, that okay, this is like something natural. It might happen to anyone. There's no stigma behind it. We all might go through mental health issues, and that's because nobody wants change, right? We all want what is like on the path for us, and then you change the atmosphere. You're away from your family. You're coming to a really cold place. All of that will kind of push you through a mental breakdown. But then acknowledging it, and then we do have a lot of support on campus that many might not know, but then when you investigate and see, and we try to promote it all the time, the Lusu International Lounge, that okay, you're not alone. Like if you're going through all of that, we know your friends are there, like you have family there, but then it's always different when you have a professional counselor on the other hand, and you're going through all of that. So the university provides you with good support. You just have to be vocal and just step away from the stigmatism that is out there and ask for help, because it's natural. It doesn't have to do with your gender, with your age. Anyone can go through that, and so that's how I personally see it.
How about you?
So I completely agree with all of that, but I understand that sometimes you still have that stigma and you just don't want to reach out to anyone like regarding your emotions or your mental health. So, something that I've actually told my friends, and even I practice it very often, is I try to do something that I like. Let's say even like drawing, or it might feel very childish, or why would I want to go and do use crayons or paint or something? But it definitely impacts so much, because you're pushing yourself away from your academics, you're pushing yourself away from everyone, and you're just focusing on yourself, your emotions, and I feel like doing that itself gives you so much mental strength, and just doing some things that you like. Sometimes it takes time to understand what you like. I mean, I've done so many things, like right now, if I just want to de-stress, then I just go to the piano. I'm not good.
Yeah.
He's good.
No, I'm not. So I'm whatever I learn, I only learn from YouTube. So
But he's
No,
really
YouTube is good.
so
He is good.
I just go be there by yourself and try to play the piano or try to do something that you like. Go play sports and try to be active. And just by isolating yourself from whatever is causing that stress, right? It definitely like boosts your mood, boosts your mental health, and like Faraz has already mentioned about the help that is being offered by Laycare, like in the student wellness center and all of that. We have to try to make use of as many resources as we can, so that we can be a better self, right? Like be at a better mental health and better mental stage. So
Yeah. And when I came here, you have that shift, that paradigm shift, that the way you think before is going to change. So what I used to think before is like, okay, I'll do this, I'll go through, and whenever I have the issue, if it's mental health, anything, I'll go and fix it. It's okay. I can go. I can do this. I can do that. I can work hard. But then when I get there, I'll fix it. Now with that mindset shift, I'm like, prevention is better than fixing. So you shouldn't be getting to that point and then going for help. Just before, even if the slightest you feel that I'm going towards, mental health issues or, getting my mood down and all of that, there is an issue. So stop and then think about what is happening. Why am I getting there? And try prevention, because it's way easier if you prevent it. The help it's gonna help you. It's gonna be really effective when you prevent it, than when you're there, when you're like depressed, God forbid, or when you're having mental issues, and then you go to a counselor. That's gonna be a really tough nut to crack for them. Whereas if you're just kind of starting and you're in the beginning, you're feeling that pain, and you go to a counselor, it's easier to deal with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, so I'm a kind of people that not really understand what other people say. Like I don't follow their say. I just like experience myself and then I will follow what they say because I don't believe in them. Like it's just I have truth issues. Yeah, so I don't really like just doing some prevention. At first, I got some stress in my first year. I take a sleep to solve that problems because I think like when I sleep, like everything will come over. But no, it's still there. It's just like I just like longing the time to preventing them. So I was so tired. I spent like 10 hours of sleeping, but I cannot do anything. I just waiting until the problems become bigger.
Exactly.
Yeah. So after that, just like trying to prioritize my physical and mental health, like physical first, and then because if I saw myself becoming better by every day in physical outlook or something, I will become happier in my mental health. Yeah. So I will like spend at least one day or like 2-3 times a week to socialize with my friend, going hang out with them, or doing anything that I like rewarding myself.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's true. And I see like
Go ahead.
and I see that as a thing that, because I think it's human nature, right? If you see, look at it this way, there are a lot of people who are in their cars and the engine check is on and they don't care. And then 1 month goes by 2 months, the third month, the car is broken down. And I'm like, it's been there for 3 months. Why don't you go and take care of that, right?
Yeah.
So I understand like the whole human nature and also the environment that we have, that we're always going around trying to fix stuff and try to work and so many things that we have to do. Sometimes we kind of neglect and forget about ourselves and our health and our mental health. And even though that we get signs, okay, I'm not feeling good today, I don't want to get out of my bed, or I want to sleep again, 8 hours isn't enough, I want more and more, I'm eating a lot or something like that. And it's not yourself, like it's something that is new, and you're like, man, I'll leave it aside, and it'll be okay. But then you have to see, okay, that is my engine light, that there is something wrong, and I have to have to go and see what's wrong. Yeah.
Also, like something that I've personally used myself is and I break the problem down into smaller parts and tell each small part to one of my friend so that so that it's not like all of my problems are with one person and I'm like only telling everything to him or like her. But by breaking it down and telling it to so many people, it's I don't feel like I'm bursting so much emotions on them. At the same time, it's almost like Harry Potter where Voldemort has his Horcruxes. So in the same way, I just like break down the problem and give it to so many other friends, so that it's there with everyone, and I am not keeping it. I'm not keeping it in myself for a long time, and it's spread out, and I don't have to stress myself with all of that burden of the pain. And honestly, I feel like your friends will be always there to support you and like help you get through the whatever you're going through. So
You're good friends.
I'm like just thinking over time. Like now, I'm kind of learning from other people's experience. So my friend in medical school, I think she got more problem than me. So I asked her like how you can balancing your life. Like you got your medical school, you got in dentistry, you are got it. I just in chemistry. So I will ask her like how you can balance your studying between your just another personal life, and she suggest me to like separate some time for yourself, just like in every day, just like at least 1 hour to just like reflect back what did you do or what you want to do on the next day, just like oriented ourselves so we can like got the mental health on the right track. It's not like off the track.
That's a really good answer, actually.
Learn from other experience. It's actually some people that have more hardworking life than us.
True. Yeah. You have to always try to reach out to people and see that like you don't have to try to find a solution by yourself. People might already have a solution to that problem that you're going through. By just explaining it to more people, you have a chance of learning, and you have a chance of understanding where you can do better.
I remember one thing when you said reach out. So I went to CBC News to talk about international students, and then they asked me for a song that would kind of relate to internationals, and we'll talk about mental issues. So there was this song called Reach Out by Mark Rebier. And I'll also send it to you if you want. You can put it on the podcast. But it's a nice kind of, it has a good vibe and says, always reach out. There's some people to help you, then don't be scared of them.
Listen to music is a good way.
Exactly.
And do you have any advice for like international students, like how they can relate themselves with some obstacle that appear in their life, not just about like studying, but also like personal life?
Do you want to go ahead, Faraz?
Yeah. One thing that I would first say before coming to Canada, or anywhere, is to do your investigation. See what your plan is, and based on that, do your stuff. Like, a lot of people are coming here and doing their masters in, for example, education. They have their own restrictions and benefits for sure, but then they don't know about it. Like, they don't do their research. So before coming to Canada, definitely do your research, see how everything is going, bring the amount of money that will help you through before you get a job and everything. Because people come here and they want to have a job the first week that they're here. They want to pay their tuition with the job, and you have to understand that after COVID, it's a little tough right now. So it's not possible. So being realistic, and I know that there's a good image of everything being so good. It's a utopia. You can get a job, house, everything is out there, but then the realistic image is a little bit different, I would say. When you come to Canada, though, if you're here, just keep in mind that you're not alone. Because a lot of internationals they get sidelined. They don't, they're not in the environment of society, especially in Thunder Bay, because you have a little bit of a more closer knit community, and it's less this diversity compared to Toronto, and which is changing, but still we're at that point. So if you're there, you have other internationals to help, you have other your peers to support you. The student union who always supports you, the Lakehead University does. So there are different things, and it all goes back to you to be vocal, to say that, and to acknowledge it, that okay, I'm going through this tough time. I cannot, for example, pay my tuition at the moment. I am related my bills, or I'm going through mental health issues because my parents are not here, and my friends, the good friends, are not here, and everything has changed here. So we definitely got you. Don't worry about it. If you're here in Canada, we will support you. But then before coming, also do your investigation, because a lot of people come in there in big shock that okay, this is not what we were expecting. And after COVID, it's a little different, and we're trying to get to that pre-COVID era, but that definitely takes a lot of time. So that's
that is so true. And I feel like as humans, we tend to like to live in communities. We try to find. So my advice would, for any international student or any student in general, would be to find your people, find whom you can trust, and honestly, like, you wouldn't know how much that impacts everything. Like, just by having a few people you care for and knowing that they care for you as well, it gives you like a support. It's almost like a backbone, and you know that they always got your back, and no matter what you're doing, I feel like you'll be a little less stressed and a little less worried about what the outcome is going to be, because you know that someone is there rooting for you. So I think definitely one of my biggest advice would be to go around, try to find good friends, try to find friends whom you can relate to and you can feel as if they're your family. And also, like I've already mentioned in my previous answers, actually, that it's not all, like, sometimes the solution lies not in the not wherever your problem is, but it could be somewhere else. So just by let's say you were trying to do something in academics and you're not able to do well, you can try playing sports or try doing anything else, and it's actually surprising to see how much that actually impacts, and in you being able to find a solution which you thought was never related, but it's only later you can find I think there was a quote by Steve Jobs as well. He said that you can always connect the dots only looking backwards. You would never be able to look forward and be able to see connect the dots. It's always when you look back you can see, okay, oh, this is how it matches, and this is how it has come up. This is how I'm able to match the dots that I've put myself through. So those are almost checkpoints, right? So
exactly.
just understand that it's not always your problem, or it's not always you are the one who's facing that, but there's so many other places where you can find solutions. So be open to going out and trying new things, and you'll be surprised by yourself looking at how those things impact other areas of your life as well. It's all like a spider web where everything is so interconnected. So you never know what is the connection until you reach that point. So.
No, I can really relate to that, especially when I came here to Thunder Bay. So I was in Toronto for a while, and I came to because I had family and friends over there. I came to Thunder Bay, and the moment we landed and I came to the airport, I was like, oh, this is so small. It was late at night, 11:30, maybe 12, and I didn't have anyone. And I had to stay for a taxi for 30-40 minutes, and then I was like, what is happening here? So the first weekend, then it actually came to my mind to change my course and change my university altogether. Just go back to Toronto and do some college or do a course or something in a university. And then gradually I became friends, for example, for Amit and Javan, and I got that my circle, and then I fell in love with them. It was like, I'm not gonna leave Thunder Bay now. I have this family here, and I have good friends here. I have my circle here, and we don't have traffic. We have good weather. Well, weather in terms of good air condition, no pollution. We have good water, and all of that. And I was like, why not? I can live here really good. And I went into a relationship, and everything changed. You have your community and the people that you love around you, and they're like family to you. And to me, that is really important. We all come and we have that shift of the atmosphere and everything. But then when you go out and you're seeing a lot of people and you're meeting friends, you'll find people with the same vibe. And you'll be in the same place and you'll make friends and hopefully you'll stay.
Yeah, true. We don't need to be scared to try new things,
Yeah.
right? Just don't push ourselves too much. Just step by step, and we become better. Every time, everyone is just not good at first sight.
Yeah,
we
that's
have to
true.
try, and then we just improve ourselves by
Mhm.
making some more friends, and then we can enhance our vision for future, and then just try. Don't
Yeah.
worry. Yeah.
Exactly. Put yourself out there and things will happen.
Yeah, things will happen. I think that's like totally the end for our podcast today. We did so good.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having you guys.
Yeah, it was a pleasure coming on. Your club has been doing a lot of good stuff, and I was like, gosh, I definitely want to go and talk to the VSA and have a small podcast, especially because I saw the first episode. Huong was there, everyone was there. I was like, gosh, this is nice. Like, we need more things like this on campus. So more power to you. Thank you for having me and Amit and also.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, like when I saw Huong doing his first podcast, and I was like, BS is very active now. Even with the event for the Lunar New Year, you guys did a really good job. And thanks for the questions. I feel like the questions were really, they were really important for new international students and even the current ones. And I like the way the podcast went. It was like a flow of thought.
And it goes back to yourself.
With your talking
really
is
good
so
hosting.
expensive.
And our crew over there.
Yeah, we have someone in the back of the camera.
Thank you so much. Photographer.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.